Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Underground Mobcast. I'm here with my co-host Lando El Capo. Lando, say what's up.
How you doing? How you doing? And just to let everybody know, Parker was like less than a half hour late because he was slumped, by the way.
All right, man. Listen, we don't need to call me out in front of the viewers here.
Oh, come on. I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying.
But we made it. We're here, and
Yep.
let's kick it right into the Q&A. What question you want to do today, Lando?
I mean, man, what do you think about the third one? Third one.
Third one. I like that. If you want to start with that one, we can do that.
Okay, so for this Q&A, we found this one question. If you ever run one of the biggest pro wrestling companies in the world, but only create one championship that was never ever seen before, what would it be and what would you call it?
Yeah, so this one's a damning question. On the creative side of things, God, that'd be hard. So we've got Intercontinental, U.S. If I were to do WWE, which I probably would, um, God, I'd do an NXT championship, in a sense. So I'd probably do. So they've got the North American Championship. They've already got tag team championships. There was already a 24/7 championship.
Yep,
Cruiserweight. Damn, dude, that's kind of hard. I'd
man,
probably go with like a NXT Super Heavyweight Championship.
super heavyweight.
Yeah, I think that would kind of shake things up a little bit in NXT, giving like the smaller guys a championship of their own and giving the bigger guys a championship of their own.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Like, hmm. I mean, sure, really. I was like, North American. Yeah, it is a tough one. It is a tough one. Um, like I would say, uh, like, I would say maybe. Oh man, yeah, it is a tough one. Really, it is a tough one. Maybe I was pretty much thinking that it could be a a championship for like the WWE and NXT maybe. I don't know, but I was thinking maybe. What do you think about this name? The WWE Network Television Championship.
Well, I honestly like that. Now, if they were to go back to like a WWE Network, that'd be
Yeah,
ideal.
yeah. The WWE Network Television Championship. Because the reason why I think that because New Japan just recently came out with a new championship named after their own network uh called the NJPW World Television Championship.
Yeah,
Like New
dude, that
or
would
New
actually be
Japan.
sick. But I mean, they'd have to obviously like switch back to WWE Network instead of like Peacock. Um, I mean, I know that they
I
still
mean,
do it in like
sure.
the UK and things like that. But
Hey, you know, that's just the best thing that I can come up with really.
I like
Now,
that. I really do.
yeah. And for like AEW, do you have anything in mind?
Oof. AEW could probably use another like mid card championship for like the men.
Like 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 a like a like a championship that involves like a weight class?
Y- yeah. They could honestly probably use like a cruiserweight or something like that. Because if you think about it, Daniel Garcia could fit into that subcategory of like cruiserweight. Um, Phoenix obviously could fit into that subcategory. There's a bunch of
Mhm.
Action could fit in there. There's a lot of people I think could probably fit into that and would open a lot of doors. But the thing is, they're already so short on TV time. You throw another championship in there, it's gonna be a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the problem with AEW now. And I mean, we can kind of like bridge this here to like breaking news. You know, there's a lot of like at one point in time, AEW was such a strong company, and I don't know if you know who Suplex is. Sooplex. Do you know what that is?
What, the move for
Suplex.
the move?
He's a dude. Like content creator for wrestling.
No, I don't. I never heard of him, to be
So
honest.
he's very entertaining. But he posted on his story today, or maybe it was yesterday, and he was like, "Does anybody have a link to watch AEW Revolution? Like, I just genuinely am not interested enough to want to spend $60 to watch it." And I was sitting there like, this dude's kind of got like a good point. AEW,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
only two matches I'm really excited for are Bryan Danielson and MJF and
And what's
Hangman
the
and
other?
Moxley.
Mm. Yeah, those two. Yeah, I mean, I bet those two matches are going to be like the matches of the night, really.
But they just like Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho,
Oh,
JAS
wait,
is.
what about? Are you excited for the Elite versus the House of Black, though?
I am excited about that one. I am excited about that one. He didn't seem excited about that one, which was kind of weird to me because I think that they were going to take the championships off of the Elite, and if they don't, I might cry. Um,
Mm.
but that's kind of besides the point. But I kind of understand what he's saying. You know, it's kind of been a struggle. You know, ever since the shit happened with CM Punk, I feel like a lot of people fell off.
Oh.
A lot of people stopped watching. And I feel like there was a couple really, really bad booking calls, like Daniel Garcia staying with JAS instead of like joining BCC. You know how dope that
Yeah,
would have been?
yeah, that would have been dope. Yeah, like Daniel Garcia, like he turned on JAS for only like I want to say like a couple or just a week, whatever,
Right.
and then all of a sudden he's back in JAS.
Yeah, and like the storytelling for him joining BCC would have been perfect. Right? Like he always looked up to Daniel Bryan. He has his match with Daniel Bryan. He goes to shake his hand. Chris Jericho blindsides him. And
And he had that match with Wheeler Yuta for the ROH Pure Championship,
yep.
you know?
And then Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson cuts that promo where he says, "Do you want to be the best technical wrestler or the
Or you want
best?"
to be a sports entertainer. Yeah.
And I don't know. I just that was kind of the one that I was like, "What the fuck, man? Like what are you doing?" The opportunity was so perfect, especially when he shed blood and finished out, a whole match with Daniel Bryan or
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson.
Hmm.
That would have been perfect storytelling, and they were just like, oh well. I
Oh
don't know.
shit.
There's been some really
Okay.
bad booking calls. Just like when
Yeah.
Moxley beat Punk in like what was it, a minute and a half, only for him to lose
Yeah.
it to him again.
Yeah. I don't know if that was his booking or he just like he returned too soon, you know?
Yeah, they never really disclosed that, but I'm assuming it was probably booking.
Yeah, boy.
But
Yeah, yeah. Too many bad calls from AEW.
yeah, well, I mean that's what happens when you. That's what happened to WCW before it dissolved.
Mm.
The talents were calling the shots behind the curtains instead of the actual people were supposed to be calling the shots.
Yeah.
And sometimes that leads to the downfall of companies.
Yeah.
But with that being said,
Yeah.
let's merge this into breaking news. Speaking of AEW, Eddie
Uh,
Kingston
we do.
quit and has said that he's now going to ROH. I don't know. I don't have the tweet pulled up on hand, but he was talking about like snakes in the locker room and the
Yeah.
work environment that AEW used to have, which is kind of why I bridged it. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of saw this coming. He's kind of right. He said something along the lines of people not wanting to do their job and getting other people
Mm-hmm.
over. Instead, they wanted to get themselves over, and I think that's a very realistic thing that's going on in AEW. There's people who don't want to do the job for you. And when
Yeah.
that happens, if you don't trust creative, then you can't get anything done, and the show won't run smoothly. So he moved over to ROH.
Mm-hmm. And I think that was a good call. I bet Ring of Honor is like a good calling for him nowadays, really, because we seen him like we barely see him on AEW now, right?
Yep.
So yeah, good thing he's going to Ring of Honor,
Yeah, I mean,
and
this
I
one
would
doesn't
like
really
to
come as much of
see.
a shocker to me. I love Eddie
And
Kingston, but that, at a certain point, you just kind of get fed up.
yeah, and I want to see him. Maybe he will be like I want to see him like win a championship there. To be honest, like I don't care if it's like. Do you think he's like world championship material?
Eddie?
Yeah.
Eh. No, but I did think he should have been the one to dethrone Miro. He was so over.
Well, yeah. Like Eddie Kingston. Yeah. Like I mean, no offense to him, but like he's not world championship material. But he is.
I
He
could
is
see
like
him being like
mid
an
card.
ROH world champion. I just don't see him being an AEW world champion or an NJPW world champion.
Actually, now you said that, yeah, I can picture him as well.
Because, I mean, like, if you're going to put it on Jericho, I think you could justify putting it on Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston. Yeah, like Eddie Kingston. Yeah, like yeah, yeah. I would like to see him winning like some championships in Ring of Honor, like the World Championship, the TV Championship. I don't know about the Pure Championship because he can't use his fists. He can't use his fists because in Pure rules he can only use like open hands instead of closed fists.
Right.
And if you like, and yeah, if you use your fist, that's like one strike for you, really. You only get three strikes. Once you use all your strikes, then you'll be like disqualified.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate. Speaking of AEW, I know this isn't in there, but I wanted to put this out there. Ringside Collectibles yesterday, every Friday before a AEW pay-per-view, they do reveals. They revealed a dog collar match, CM Punk and MJF.
Really?
That's going to be a ringside exclusive. So, I'm thinking they still have CM Punk's rights. I don't think he'll come back, but I think they still have the rights to him. But
Yeah,
he very well still could come back. You never know. Never say never in wrestling. But I thought that
yeah,
was an interesting thing because I thought so. They had like probably 2 or 3 months ago. It was the last AEW pay per view where they showed a bunch of them, and there was like a bunch of CM Punks lined up to come out, like an ROH CM Punk. And my
Mhm.
buddy was like, "You think we'll ever see it now that he's gone?" And I said, you never say no, you never say never, but if I had to guess, I would assume that it's still gonna go out, and they're not gonna have to change the lineup at all because his contract technically never expired. So that could be what it is, or they could be in the works of getting CM Punk back. So just keep an eye out.
Yeah. Uh, so anyways, should I kick off with the match of the week?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, our match of the week that I picked out is Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Banger.
WrestleMania 13, and in a no disqualification submission match. So like, like back then, like Stone Cold was like using the $1 million dream.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Yeah, because I bet he was gonna use it on Bret Hart, and I don't think he ever used the $1 million dream. But anyways, um like it's been like this match like happened like 26 years ago. S- Like that changed the landscape of professional wrestling actually. It wasn't just like about the feud between like Bret Hart and Steve Austin, which was as hot as anything wrestling had seen, you know? Um like uh like like these like WWE was like struggling because like the Monday Night Wars, back
Yeah.
then. Like it was like the ascension of like hear me out, the ascension of Hollywood Hogan and the NWO have been pushing more and more eyes co- to competitor competitor WCW, but WWE needed a kind of star that could shift the momentum. Like Bret the Hitman Hart. He had been the promotion's like key baby face for some time,
Right.
But Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's a foul-mouthed edge that came that who just raised the stakes.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to look at the era too, right? So WrestleMania 13, what year was that?
Uh, thir Did you say 18 or 13?
13.
Okay, 13. Okay. For a second there, I thought you said 18. But anyways, WrestleMania 13 took place in March of 1997.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking like heavy grunge era, Alice in Chains. This is also like the booming time in ECW. There was a lot going on, right? Like having somebody like Stone Cold Steve Austin who's foul mouthed and just a badass, that's what people wanted to see.
Hmm.
I mean, that gimmick was so over. And if you watch the end of that match, Bret Hart goes from babyface to heel while Stone Cold goes from heel to babyface. Like that's the ultimate like flip
Yeah,
flop.
yeah.
And people have
And
talked about that for
I should also
ages.
yeah, and I should also mention that like Austin never quit, really. He never quit. Like he never tapped out and he literally never quit. He just passed out, really. And he was dripping in blood as well.
Yep.
It was like a blood bath.
Yeah, right from his temple too. He must have
Hmm.
sliced himself good. But yeah, no, that match is one of those ones that will never be forgotten. Um,
And I should also mention that like it was like the true start of like the Attitude Era. And also Stone Cold becoming like a one of the biggest star in wrestling history. That was the start, you know?
yeah,
Like it was perfect. It was like perfect storytelling that captivated the audience while proving highly impactful to pro wrestling's future, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean the 90s were a very strange time. They really were, because you went
Mm.
from Hogan
Hulk Hogan to
to like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
and to
Shawn
like
Michaels really
Stone
did
Cold.
like start the ushering of the Attitude Era, but unfortunately, due to injury, was forced to be sidelined. And so that was like the new gen era, and then it rushed into the Attitude Era, which carried for all the way up till what, 2009 when they hit the PG era, 2010.
Ye- yeah, it was like 2009.
Yeah, because I mean, that style of like not really
I think
giving a
it,
crap
it was like
about.
wait, it was either 2009 or 2008. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, so I mean, like that style of wrestling, the blood and the Hell in a Cell matches and things like that, um, really changed the landscape for wrestling to come. And they took the Attitude Era as like the stepping stone and only furthered it and continued to work with it. And I really liked that. Um, but without this match, I don't think you ever get there, because Stone Cold would have never been the babyface he became afterwards. Even though he was
Hmm.
supposed to be a heel, people loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the whole like the whole promo segment like him after winning the King of the Ring in
You
1996.
sit there thumping your
Uh
Bible. Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, and then like yeah, he was like like the heel in that point, but then till like he got up to WrestleMania, he became the babyface. So yeah, that was another rocket launch for him in his career.
It's crazy to think,
Like
man.
yeah. But anyways, I also put this category in reports, you know?
All right, let's
And
go ahead and hit him with it.
Vince McMahon decided to have Brock Lesnar versus Omos at WrestleMania 39. So it was pretty much Vince's idea to have Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Well, okay, well, like like yeah, like the Elimination Chamber, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, it ended in the DQ. So Bobby Lashley won by DQ by Brock Lesnar hitting with a low blow.
Yeah,
So yeah, basically Bobby Lashley is now going to face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania,
dude.
and like
Listen.
Brock,
I'm not excited for that match. I'm not excited for either one of those. Brock
okay,
Lesnar versus Omos or Bray Wyatt versus Lashley. I don't
okay,
enjoy Bobby Lashley as a performer. I I never really have though, so I guess I'm a little biased. Maybe in like 2007, but um Brock Lesnar versus Omos. All I want to see in that match is if Brock Lesnar can lift up Omos for an F5
yeah,
or a
yeah, yeah,
German. But
yeah,
besides that, I
yeah,
mean, like,
yeah,
you take out the fact that you just want to see him do a feat of strength. What substance is there to that match? I would have totally rather seen Gunther versus Brock all day long.
yeah. Yeah, we'll get. I mean, yeah, like I mean, speaking of Gunther, we'll get that in a bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I get what you mean. Like we all thought it was gonna be Gunther versus Brock Lesnar
Yeah, the square
at
off at the
WrestleMania.
Rumble, usually that means something. But apparently
Yeah,
not anymore.
I mean, how would you feel if like, well, I think we discussed this before. Like, how would you feel if like, like that this match would ever happen, that it was Gunther versus Brock Lesnar for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar winning the championship, well, winning his first mid-card championship, like, how would you feel?
I would commit, especially if you take like if it's like modern day. If you were to say,
Hmm.
"Hey, Gunther, Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 39. Brock. The only way you get this match is Brock Lesnar wins." I'd just be like, "Nope, never mind. I lied. Don't need it. We're good."
Mm,
Because Gunther is so close. I mean, I know that he's still like 200 days off, right? But
yeah.
he's the next WWE star, man. They're obviously pushing this guy to the moon.
Yeah, and he started from number one, and he made it all the way to the final two. It
Yeah,
was like an hour. It was like an hour and 11 and a half minutes. That's how long he stayed in the Rumble.
wasn't he the longest, or didn't he stay in for the Rumble for the longest amount of time?
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, like, they're having him break records if they continue with him, you know, being IC
Yeah.
champion. Yeah, this dude start breaking a bunch of records. There's no way he doesn't become your next star unless he gets like sidelined on injury. God forbid, knock on wood. But yeah, with that, let's head over to our breaking news segment.
Yeah. Breaking news segment. Okay. Now this is like this involves NWA, and I know for a fact you don't watch that shit. Okay. But me, I mean, I pay attention to like I look at their like social medias and shit. Okay. I don't watch their shows. I just watch them on social media. Um, NWA will be having an all women's tournament for the inaugural NWA World Women's Television Championship. Like the first ever NWA World Women's Television Champion will be crowned at NWA 312 on April 7th, 2023 in Chicago. So this is actually like their mid-card title in the women's division. So now they have three championships in the women's division: the world women's, the world women's tag team, and now the world women's television championship. And that's like their like I believe their ninth title in the roster out of all championships.
How many shows do they have a week? Just one?
Two actually.
Okay. Well, 9 titles is a
Like
lot to work with for 2 shows a week, but I mean, shit.
like yeah, they have like there's one show is called NWA Power with three R's, by the way. And the other is called NWA USA.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, like yeah, so yeah,
How long are they? Are they both like 2 hours or 1 hour?
uh one I think yeah, I think NWA Power is 1 or 2 hour 1 or 2 hours, one of them, but all I know is that NWA USA is 1 hour. So I mean, so yeah, it's like, it's like AEW, with
Yeah.
Dynamite and Rampage.
Yeah, could
That
you
one of
imagine
them is
AEW had 9 titles to work with? Good God, what a mess that would be.
yeah. And now well yeah, nine now like they have nine championships in NWA. Um they um sorry, I was looking at something. I yeah, I like how well sorry, I'm lost for words. I was looking at I was looking at my phone. I saw a text message. That yeah, like they pretty much handle their roster well in NWA. Now they're not like AEW. I'm telling you that right now. They're not like they're actually like NWA. They know how to handle the roster.
Yeah, AEW is a shit show right now.
Yeah, but NWA, even though they have a large amount of roster, but they know how to handle it. Really, that's all I can say.
Word.
Yep. Now, off to rumors. Um, WWE bringing back Zack Ryder and Ezekiel Jackson.
Listen, man, I'm cool with Zack Ryder. Woo woo woo. But Ezekiel Jackson, dude, talk about another person who's just brawn and
Braun
not
with no brains.
interesting. I mean, there
Oh,
you go.
I was. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Were you thinking of like a rivalry with Braun Strowman when I said just Braun?
No. I was about to say bronze with no brains.
Yeah, I mean, he was so boring in ring, dude. His finisher was the
Yeah.
torture rack.
Torture Rack, the Book of Ezekiel.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's gotten better.
Mm,
If he does come back, I sure hope he has, because the main roster today would be more comparable to like an early NXT. And I don't think he could hang with the early
mm.
NXT guys, especially not with the, how do I put it, the match skills that he had, the competition skills that he had when he was like in the core. So
Yeah.
hopefully he's gotten better. Zack Ryder, I mean, Matt Cardona, he's gotten over outside of WWE. So I think that
Yeah.
would be a good addition, bringing somebody, you know, who has a background now. Because before, you know, he wasn't big or anything. He was just a little dweeby broski. So
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
I mean, I don't. I say okay. Like, even though, like, I think Ezekiel Jackson is coming back, maybe working backstage. I think. Do you think? Maybe. I don't know. Is that just me, or
Very well could, but I mean, like, what would he provide?
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. Like I said, it's rumored. Okay, who knows if they're bringing back both these guys? You know. Anyways, predictions for AEW Revolution.
All right, let's go from bottom of card to top to card. Top of
Oh,
card.
okay, bottom. Okay,
Bottom
we
to
can go from
top,
the bottom.
yep.
Okay, this was just announced on a Rampage actually.
Yeah, and I saw this and I was like, woo.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers versus the Varsity Athletes and Ari Davari in a trios match. But all I can say is that like when they get that announcement on Rampage, I mean like Brock or Brock Mark Briscoe was giving out like a little promo. Um like he was like he saw like he was backstage and he saw the tag team battle royal. He was looking for his brother Jay, and he was thinking uh he was thinking, oh, I think he's already in the ring, you know. And then he was going to the ring, and he was and he came and he just realized, oh, Jay is upstairs with the Lord. But then he saw Mark Sterling, like being a little snake, and he was going after him, you know.
Yeah. Listen, dude, this match, as it, I don't think that this holds a candle to anything else on the card.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, but I just like the promo with like Mark Briscoe, really.
That was a good promo. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and like the way he wanted the Lucha Brothers, like the Lucha Brothers as his tag team partner, like saying, like he said, I found true brothers that would have each other's back, something like that. That Mark said, you know. So good thing. So I mean, yeah, like the Lucha Brothers, yeah.
Yeah,
Next
I've
match,
got Mark Briscoe and Lucha Brothers. Anybody who takes the other side is
it's fucking stupid.
yeah, to
Anyway,
say the least.
yeah. Anyways, next match, Jungle Boy Perry versus Christian Cage and a no holds barred match.
Mm, who do you got?
I have to say, I have to say Jack Perry, to be honest.
I've got Jungle Boy. Yeah. With the promo that was on Dynamite, I'm assuming this is the end of the chapter. Finally, good lord.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that he takes the win and finishes off the storyline.
Hmm.
After
Yeah.
that, we have the Elite versus the House of Black for the AEW World Trios Championship. Lando, who are you going with?
Like I wanted the House of Black to win, but something in my gut tells me that the Elite is gonna win.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the House of Black because my heart tells me how badly I want them to win. So because I want them to win, I'm gonna predict that they're gonna win. If the Elite wins, I won't be surprised though.
Like
But
I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not gonna be mad. I'll be okay with it, really. You know?
yeah, but I just really want the House of Black to win.
Yeah, me too. Me
I have
too.
been a huge fan of Aleister Black ever since I saw his Hideo Itami um, match. That was actually what got me into like NXT very heavily.
Mm.
So ever since then, I've kind of been like a dick rider. I tend to dick ride. Um,
Kenny Omega.
yeah, listen, I'm a Kenny Omega dick rider too, but I wouldn't mind seeing them drop the World Trios Championship because I would like to see him back in the AEW Championship talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
Speaking of
and
trios,
yeah, what do you mean,
get
what
it? Because there's 3 people in the next match.
yes. Anyway, in my mind, I'm like, there's no other. We just discussed all the trios matches. What the fuck you saying? And I'm like, oh, you're thinking of the three-way match. Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, Jamie Hayter versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho in a three-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Who you got?
I think Jamie Hayter keeps it.
Y- Yeah, I think Jamie Hayter as well.
I'm cool with anybody but Ruby winning because, quite frankly, I feel like she should have won it from Britt in that rivalry because she was so hot off the jump. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, next one.
so the next one is Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. Jericho Appreciation Society is banned from ringside, so the reason I think they did that was because that is the most reasonable way to give Ricky Starks the dub.
Yeah, because you know JAS, they would cheat. They would cheat. And they would say it's not cheating. What the fuck you talking about, you know?
Right.
And so yeah, Ricky Starks for the win. Next match, Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the AEW TNT Championship.
I'm taking Samoa Joe. I'm rooting for Samoa Joe. Um, I very well could see Wardlow winning though. But I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe.
Hmm. Okay, like to be honest, I don't really care. I always say to make the best man win, but if anybody told me if I had to pick one, I would have to say Samoa Joe, really.
Yeah, I feel like there's no reason to pull it off of him. You already pulled it off of him for Darby just for him to win it back. So if you pull it off of him for Wardlow and Wardlow doesn't go on some historic run, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas deathmatch. Lando, who do you have taking this one?
Uh, I'm going for John Moxley, because um, like I just feel like he's the bigger man in this match, don't you think?
Yeah, ultimately I think Jon Moxley will win. I want to see Hangman win because ever since his push and the ending to CM Punk, I kind of always wanted to see him back in like a title picture. There's no better person to beat to get back into the title picture besides Jon Moxley. So that's what I'm rooting for, but I do think Jon Moxley takes it home. I mean, he's the king of extreme in modern day professional wrestling, so.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. John, you get both of us, John Moxley in this one.
yeah, let's do you want to put a wager on tonight? Whoever has the better record at the end of the night gets like $5.
uh, Man. Um, I mean, I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Yeah, you can get back to me on that. After that, we have the four-way tag team match for the World Tag Team Championships. We've got the Guns versus the Acclaimed versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy and Danhausen.
And why did you highlight it in yellow, by the way?
Okay, so I'm gonna share that. The reason I highlighted this one in the yellow is because I absolutely hate this match. It feels like it was just
Oh,
kind of thrown together. Um,
mm,
the Guns should have never beat the Acclaimed. It doesn't make sense. I get that they're like Billy Gunn's kids or whatever, but that's
yeah,
just bias, right? Nobody wanted to see them win. It was a shocker, which makes it entertaining to a certain extent, but nobody wanted to see it. Um,
yeah,
Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, why? Like,
yeah,
Jeff Jarrett still has it somewhat, but why in the tag team scene, if anything?
yeah,
And then obviously Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, it's just a joke team in the first place. Like, I get Danhausen's not a serious character. Shit, I mean, you could even argue that Orange Cassidy isn't a serious character. So I don't know. I just think,
like, I think they were about to put in uh Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, but they got injured.
yeah, that would have. I would have preferred that. At least it would have been like two real tag teams in the match. I don't consider the Guns to be a true tag team because I think that they lack a lot of in-ring talent and a lot of charisma. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, and then in the main event, or well, who's your pick for the Fatal Four-Way Tag Team?
Man, I kind of want the Acclaimed to win, but it's something in my gut tells me that the Guns are gonna retain. I don't know
I
why,
think the
but
Guns are gonna retain as well. Um, that there will be something screwy that happens if the Guns retain.
hmm
I want the Acclaimed, just like I'm sure everybody else does. I,
hmm
me personally, I hate the Acclaim, or not the Acclaim, the Guns. So I would love to see the Acclaim take the championships back home. But I have high doubts that they would dethrone them, just throw them back on top.
yeah, yeah,
That being said, AEW has really screwy booking, which is something we were touching on yesterday or earlier in the pod, anyways. So,
yeah.
but with that, let's talk about the main event here. Um, MJS versus Bryan Danielson in an Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. Who's taking home the gold?
Man, I can't. Mm,
This one's hard,
Want
man.
to? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think I'm gonna go
Like,
with. Damn, dude, that is hard though because MJF is still kind of new in terms of like his championship reign.
and Brian Danielson. I mean, he hasn't won a championship since he entered into AEW. Hasn't won one. Not the Ring of Honor.
No nothing.
So very close every single time, but never really captured the gold. Here's the problem that I'm having walking into this match. If you pull it off of MJF, which would take away his heat, right? Um,
Yeah.
you take it off of him, he loses legitimacy. But Bryan Danielson loses, he also loses legitimacy, and he has become a wasted talent in AEW. So it's a very like thin line that they're walking.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I would love to see Bryan Danielson as a champion, but I just don't know how I'd like it. I think it probably should have happened with Hangman and maybe extended a rivalry between those two where they had like a best of 7 type of thing. Without titling it best of 7, but like nobody beating Bryan Danielson and nobody beating Hangman Adam Page and those guys just remaining at the top and just putting on banger after banger.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two guys had so much like chemistry in the ring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping we get to see that with MJF and Bryan Danielson in terms of like the chemistry aspect. Um, I don't really like how they've been presenting MJF. Like he went from an asshole to just a straight up piece of work. And he says some like nasty crude shit. Like the
Yeah.
whole promo on pulling her over into the other seat because I wasn't driving or whatever. That's just disgusting. I think that's a horrible, horrible, horrible promo. I don't know what they were thinking. The sly, like, little
Yeah.
dick sucking thing was kind of funny, but I don't know. I'm rooting for. I'm not really rooting for either one of these guys. I'm not gonna lie to you
So
because
what?
I
So what? Make the best man win in this one?
made the best man win, but I think for prediction reasons, I'm gonna take Bryan Danielson
Yeah.
for the upset.
Like, yeah, like I have to agree with you on that one. Like, yeah, it's a 50-50 here, really. Yeah, like these two, you know, like who knows, like what's gonna happen? Like I gotta say, like we make the best man win in this one, really.
Yeah,
But
my
if
problem
I have
with
to
it is.
choose,
Yeah, go ahead. Make your prediction then I'll.
if I and this, but if s- let, but if somebody says I have to pick one, I have to pick with Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of the underdog walking in. I could be wrong. I'd have to see like the DraftKings sports bet on it or whatever. But dude, either way it goes. So if Bryan Danielson loses, it's a net negative because he's, like I said, become a wasted talent in AEW who hasn't done anything, noteworthy besides his matches with Hangman and Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
plus his BCC run, but in terms of like gold and accomplishments, not really there, you know. MJF
Yeah.
on the other hand, he was with the company from the start, and you give him the championship. Are you gonna pull it off of him in his first pay-per-view defense? I don't know.
Who knows?
Like that, I feel like that's a bad booking situation. They really put themselves in a pickle.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But
Now,
with that,
uh, let's kick it off to this weekly review.
this week in
I
wrestling,
mean,
let's
yep,
we'll kick it off with Raw as we always do, because Monday is the first day of the week.
yep. Brock Lesnar accepted Omos's challenge at WrestleMania.
Woohoo! Shout out Vince McMahon. Woohoo! Yay!
Woo, yeah, woo. Too much. You've been removed to WrestleMania. You know,
Yep.
I actually saw that. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. He like Vince McMahon is removed from WrestleMania.
Good. Screw that
Now,
guy.
yeah, now, even though okay, we'll get it's. I also put in like Cody Rhodes coming to SmackDown, but I mean we'll get that in a bit. Finn Balor challenging Edge at WrestleMania. I mean that's pretty much like the final chapter, you know. Final
Yeah, I heard
chapter
it's supposed to
between.
be like a Hell in a Cell match or something.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
look for
Yeah,
that in the next
yeah,
like 3 weeks.
yeah. Probably a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah. Next up, The Miz will be the host of WrestleMania 39.
I'm excited for that because he's as much as people like to hate on the Miz. I don't know if you remember his Talking Smack promo with Daniel Bryan,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's
I
all right.
remember that.
Everyone's like, oh, he's not an exciting wrestler. He doesn't have to be, dude. He's day in and day out, and people have that argument with Randy Orton too, right? Like, oh, Randy Orton's not entertaining. Well, if Randy Orton goes out there and puts his body on the line every single match like Jeff Hardy, he might end up like Jeff Hardy with 5 DUIs and in rehab every other 6 months. So sometimes it pays off to be quote unquote boring. I don't think Orton's boring. I don't think The Miz is boring. I think The Miz can carry with his mic skills, kind of like MJF. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm excited to see what he can do as the host of WrestleMania because he will put a good heel twist on it, I think.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. But again, now he announced it on Miz TV, and he also invited Seth Rollins into Miz TV, and he and Seth Rollins uh basically basically told the Miz to maybe make the match for Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
And speaking of
And
Logan Paul and Seth Rollins at Mania, we will see
Seth
Logan
Rollins,
Paul this week.
yeah, this week on Raw. Yeah. I like how like I knew Seth Rollins was gonna he basically hit Seth Rollins the Miz with a curb stomp and then like looked down at the phone. I knew he was gonna reach down to that phone, really. And like he was gonna use like the face he like uses like the face ID for the when the Miz was knocked out, and it worked. And he went to FaceTime. FaceTimed Logan Paul, and he invited Logan Paul like answered the call, and then Seth Rollins invited him to Raw, and Logan accepted it, and then Seth Rollins and ends the call with, "I'll see you next Monday, bitch."
Yeah,
Yeah, it was something like that.
I thought it was really funny when Logan answered the phone. He was like, "Miz, you gotta stop calling me all the time."
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm excited for that match. Those are two very electrical performers. As much as I hate Logan Paul, he's
but
damn
yeah,
good in the
like
ring, and he's doing something good for WWE, which is bringing the younger audience to it. Also, just grabbing eyes due to his influence in like YouTube and just all over the place. He's a
yeah,
huge social media influencer. So hats off to him
mm-hmm.
for doing what he's doing. He's really putting WWE over, and at the same time, they're giving him good matches and letting him showcase what he can do. So
Yeah, and but yeah, we're gonna see Logan Paul this week, and also we're gonna see Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor on Raw, since he defeated Otis last week, and now he'll be facing Finn Balor this week on Raw.
I am
And let me
expecting
tell you that,
fireworks.
yep, because I mean I remember they were having a feud over in NXT, like back in like 2019 and 2020, before the whole pandemic happened,
Right.
really. Yeah, they started to have a feud with each other, because that's what like the feud started when when Finn Balor like turned heel when he like Pele kicked Johnny Gargano in the face,
Yep. When
you
it
know.
was him standing off with the Undisputed Era with Ciampa and Gargano.
Yep.
Yeah, that Dude, that's one of my favorite moves. I know this is off topic, but dude, that Bayley kick is so beautiful.
Mm.
Especially the
Like what?
cells that we get off of them.
Oh yeah. Like if you were if you were a wrestler, like would that be your finishing move? That's the thing.
No shot. No, that's like, you know how AJ Styles throws like his combos? That would be
Oh
one of
yeah.
my main
Well,
combo moves.
okay. Well, like Wes Lee, his finishing move is actually a Pele kick, but he renamed it. It called it the cardiac kick.
Yeah. It fits well with him. I just don't feel like it's something I'd want to have as a finishing move.
Okay, understandable. Understandable.
I feel like if I were to do something, it'd be closer to like maybe like a shooting star press. Because I'm a smaller guy.
Okay. 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 A shooting star press. That's good. What else? Ne- so yeah. Yeah. I kind of want to see. Yeah, I want to see this match go down really this
I'm very
Monday.
excited for it on the main roster. I'm so glad Johnny is back. I've never really been hot on him as like a character, but he's just great in ring.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him in NXT
Yep.
in his early run, like babyface.
Yep.
But I hated the
Yeah.
way, and when he came back, I feel like the way kind of diminished his value for me. So when he came back, I was like, "Woo, Johnny!" But now,
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
look at him in Elimination Chamber. He did great. I think
Yeah. Like him and
Montez
Seth
stole the
Rollins. Yeah.
show, but
Mm-hmm. But anyways. Next up, Trish Stratus returns to help Becky Lynch and Lita against Damage Control. And not only that, that Becky Lynch and Lita became the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
anybody who didn't see this happening, you stupid.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, you don't bring back a legend and pair her with the man for them to lose on Raw. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I know like last week was it last? No. It was like like last week's episode. Like I said that like I wanted Becky Lynch and Lita to win. Mostly Lita because I said that like she'll be like the first like Hall of Famer to win a championship in the women's division. But okay, but okay, just to let you know, I was wrong. Like she's not the first. The first female Hall of Famer was actually like the fabulous Moolah. Like it was like back in like 2000, I believe, when she won the women's championship.
Oh, when
She
she was
only held
like
it
with
for like a week.
Cat.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was only for like a week when she held that title.
makes sense.
But yeah, I'm wrong. I'm wrong, people. I'm wrong.
Hey, listen,
Okay,
she's the first WWE woman to be a Hall of Famer and a tag team champion. Because they never
touche.
had women's tag team championships prior, so
So yeah, touche.
you got something kind
Touche.
of right.
I'll have credit. I'll give
I'll
credit.
give credit where credit's due.
So yeah, that's it for Raw. Actually, no. Before we get to NXT, do you think it's gonna be? I'm having a feeling that it's. Do you think it's gonna be like maybe like Becky Lynch and Lita and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control at WrestleMania?
I'd be cool with that. I think that's where it's headed for sure.
Yeah, because it's 3-on-3. It's
Yeah,
like having like
evening the odds.
yeah, and just book it, book it, Triple H, book it.
Yeah, Vince, stay the hell away.
Just stay. You should just go back to retirement. We got this in the bag. Okay. Anyways, NXT. Apollo Crews returned and attacked Dabba-Kato, by the way.
Yep, I saw that.
Um,
That was exciting.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. Also, Nathan Fraser answered Wesley's NXT North American Championship Open Challenge, and this was like the first time we've seen Fraser since Halloween Havoc. Remember that?
Yeah, it's been like 6 months.
Yeah, nearly 6 months. Yeah, like 5 months. Um, yeah, and they actually put on a performance really in this match, even though like Nathan Fraser, like he was unsuccessful, and Wesley retained the NXT North American Championship. But both of them at the end, like they shook hands, like good sportsmanship, you know. But but really though, it was a pretty good match.
Do you think it was match of the night?
Um, and one of them actually, one of them. Because I'll get to the second match in a bit, but we got Gigi Dolan, like she cut a promo like after JC Jane turned on her on the Ding Dong Hello talk show with Bailey. She put on a promo and she challenged JC Jane at NXT Roblox. So we'll see JC Jane and Gigi Dolan face off one another at Roblox this Tuesday. And man, I kind of want Gigi Dolan to win, to be honest.
Same here,
Don't you
man.
think?
Same here. Ideally, what would have happened is they would have went up to the main roster. If I was booking, they would have went up to the main
Yeah.
roster, and it could have been a triple threat for the tag team championships come WrestleMania.
Yeah, and like I said this before, they have like a weak women's tag division, really.
Absolutely. I mean, like if you
It's just,
even look at the beginning of the tag team division for women in WWE, it was just like a bunch of thrown together teams that made like no sense.
yeah. Um yeah, like it's just Damage Control and well, right now we got Becky Lynch and Lita, but I mean they're just a pair, don't you think?
Yeah, that was just that was random too.
Yeah, and what about Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey?
I do like that one, um, because they have ties back to when they were in MMA together.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just pretty much like yeah, like the only true tag teams in the women's tag division is basically Dakota Kai and Io Sky of Damage Control, and then Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Like, like why break up Toxic Attraction? Even though they said it on Ding Dong Hello that they said that they should go after the women's tag team championships
Yeah, they
in
should have followed
WWE,
through
not
with that.
NXT.
That was such a swerve, dude. I was like, yes! And then she got kicked in the head, and I was like, oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, I kind of saw this coming. I'm like, oh, please don't turn on each other. Please don't turn on each other. Please don't turn on each other. You know?
And sure enough.
Yeah, and sure enough, like even though it was like right after like, that triple threat match over at NXT Vengeance Day that like sooner or later they're gonna turn on each other, or one of them is gonna turn on each other. And of course it was JC Jane like super kicking Gigi Dolan in the face.
And then stomping her head into a door, dude. That was brutal.
I'm like, damn.
Dude, that was a real one, too. Like, that landed completely. You could see the bruise on her face.
Yeah, she even posted on her like social media that like her face was like all bruised up.
Crazy. But
Anyways,
with that, we have the main event.
Carmel Hayes defeated Tyler Bate in an epic main event match, by the way.
These two
There
guys,
was like,
man. These two guys are two of the
yeah.
most talented on the NXT roster today. I challenge anybody to
Mm-hmm.
try and prove me wrong on that. Especially Carmelo. I know he's been around in NXT for a while, and I'm sure some people kind of want to see him get pushed up to the main roster, but he fits in so well in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he would have been around in the black and gold, like, undisputed era days of NXT.
Yeah.
Because, dude, he would have had some bangers. Could you imagine him versus, like, Velveteen Dream prior to the sexual misconduct allegations?
Yep. And the drug allegations, like he was arrested like 2 times,
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. Yeah, that would be a banger, really, with like him and Velveteen Dream.
Or, dude, could you imagine him versus Adam Cole? Oh, my God.
I mean, they already had that match, really. But I mean, nowadays, like we see Carmelo Hayes
As you've
being
seen
in
him
like
evolve, you know what I mean?
yeah. That would be a banger with like the new and approved, like Adam Cole right now versus like the new and approved Carmelo Hayes. Like who is actually in the main event picture.
Yeah.
And and he's like next in line for an NXT title shot, really. So yeah, and it's gonna happen at Stand and Deliver, like Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. But yeah, I want Carmelo Hayes to win, but I feel like they're gonna keep the belt on Braun Breaker, really, because Braun Breaker, I mean, like he's like NXT's top guy at the moment, and I also feel like I said this before, I feel like they're gonna make him like the longest reigning NXT champion. Like they're
He's the
gonna
golden boy
let
of
him.
NXT currently, which really aggravates me because I'm not a fan of Braun Breaker.
Yeah,
But, I mean, it is what it
like
is.
yeah, it is what it is. But like, yeah, I want Carmelo Hayes to win, but I bet that Braun Breaker's gonna retain. Now, up to our next show, AEW Dynamite. Um, Orange Cassidy defeated Big Bill in his 13th defense for the AEW All Atlantic Championship.
Dude, I saw somebody complaining about the fact that they're wasting quote unquote Big Bill. I'm sitting here like, bro, really? That's what you're pressed about? Of all of the talent we've seen wasted in AEW, you're concerned about Big Bill, who was nobody without Enzo.
Yeah, yeah,
If he would have beat Orange Cassidy, more people should have been upset, to be honest.
yes, really. I mean, hell, because right now Big Bill, who's 7 feet tall, and like right now he's just wrestling in like some like in jeans, really,
He's
in
not an
jeans,
interesting character by any means.
and and he's not an interesting character, but yeah, like you get the point, really, you get the point. And next up, the House of Black attacked the Elite on stage while they were making their entrance, and they also stolen the Elite's trios titles. By the way, I don't know if you
Only to
saw
give
that,
him
but they
back in
cut.
the promo at the end of the night.
Yeah, yeah. And next up, we got Powerhouse Hobbs, winning the face of the Revolution ladder match. I thought it was gonna happen at like Revolution, but instead it's basically like a few days before Revolution. I mean, how do you feel about Powerhouse Hobbs winning the ladder match?
I mean, of the people that were in there, it's the only person I really wanted to see. Like
Yeah,
Sammy
like there,
Guevara, he's already done it.
Sammy Guevara, Eddie Kingston, Ortiz,
They
Konosuke
disappeared at some point
Takeshita.
throughout the match.
Yeah.
Takeshita, I would have been cool with. I thought he was going to. Um,
They brought in a luchador all the way from AAA. His name was Commander.
yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know why, but you know,
for
I
some
don't know
good
why.
spots.
Yeah, like yeah. And what else was there? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Like yeah, you said Sammy. Hobbs, Commander, Takeshita, Kingston, Ortiz.
Oh,
Who else am I?
God, what's his name? What's his name? Teams with Aaron Fox,
Oh, AR Fox. Yeah,
AR
AR
Fox.
Fox. AR Fox. Is that it? I feel like there's one more. It was like an 8-man ladder match. So yeah, like AR Fox, Hobbs, Guevara, Takeshita, Kingston, Ortiz, Commander. What else? What else? I'm missing one.
Oh, Action
I'm missing.
Andretti. Andretti.
Oh yeah, actually, uh, uh, yeah, Andretti. Yeah, Action Andretti.
Yep. See, he would be a
Yeah,
good, like, this might sound bad, but like cruiserweight. If you
yeah.
put a
It
cruiserweight
would be.
championship in AEW, there's so many guys that could do it.
Yeah, yeah, like we did like the Q&A from earlier. Like call it like the AEW World Middleweight Championship.
Right.
That'll be a good name. That'll be a good name. Anyways, moving on. Uh, well, we already,
We
Jack
kind of
Perry
spoiled
and
this
Chris
one,
Cage.
but the last match between Jack Perry and Christian Cage, no
Yeah,
holds barred match. Then we kind of spoiled this one too. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen won the tag team casino battle royale.
yep,
I was rooting for BCC, but I'll take it.
yep. And the Brian Danielson and MJF segment. I knew that like Brian Danielson is like I knew he was gonna gonna pull up when like he's gonna pull that line where he mentions like MJF's fiance leaving him, you know?
Right.
I knew he was gonna pull that off. I'm like at the same time I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn. And like also I'm like, hey, good for him.
Yeah, I mean
But
he's talked a lot over this rivalry about like earning his stripes.
mhm.
He mentioned the Authority. I don't know if you like
The authority.
when he said that. I was
Um,
like, whoa, 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 pause, pause.
the authority. Having finding concussions, broken necks. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he's been finding his whole life really,
Yeah, that segment really.
and it ends with him saying that he's gonna kick MJF's fucking head in. You know,
Yeah.
and they had to censor him saying that with like the crowd with like crowd audio really.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what the fuck just happened to my TV?
Yeah, and um but if you watch AEW like on the Fight TV network, Fight TV,
Yeah.
yeah, it's uncensored really. If you watch it on there, then everything is like uncensored.
How come you can't? Can you get the pay-per-views through there?
I think so. I
I thought that
mean,
was only on Bleacher Report in the U.S.
I think so.
I have to
I
check it
think
out.
so. I mean, yeah, I think so. But I mean, other companies like they would air like their pay-per-view events on there as well, like NWA and AAA. You know.
Right.
So yeah, yeah, I think and all and everything about that segment, I liked it. It was very, yeah, very like spot on, really.
Yeah, the only problem I have with this rivalry is how long it took to build it up because they only have pay-per-views every, what, 3 months?
Yeah, like every 3 months. Yeah,
So it takes so long. If you're trying to set up like a big rivalry, it just takes forever.
yeah.
Whereas with
Now,
like WWE, it's only like a month and then either it
yeah,
moves on or it continues, but you get to see one match.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of WWE, why don't we kick it over here to SmackDown? I'll let you.
Roman. Yep, the segment between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. That Cody Rhodes announced on Raw that he'll be going to SmackDown to meet Roman face to face. And
that he sure did.
and he sure did. He yeah, I like the segment really. I like the segment like I like when Roman like literally this like set like he drops the belt to make a line and he just like, so what do you want to talk about? Like the same quote that Cody did with Sammy, really. Like when
Yeah.
Sami Zayn like called Cody out, and Cody just the first words that came to his mind was, "What you want to talk about?" So yeah, Roman Reigns pulled that one off, and he also said that to Cody, like, have you ever fought for this championship? Have you fought any of these championships, or did you ever main event WrestleMania before? So yeah, it was just yeah. I'm like, well, shit.
So I was talking to somebody yesterday night, a wrestling fan, and he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me one of the things that he looked at and thought of as maybe like a sign was Roman with the two belts laying in the middle of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
In between him and Cody, one was facing Cody and one was facing him.
Oh yeah, I think I know where you're going with this. Yeah, I saw it on like Instagram. But anyways, continue.
Are they gonna split the championships at Mania? Night 1 and night 2?
I mean, it was rumored. It was rumored. Maybe.
It very
Who
well could
knows?
happen. Think about it.
I
Night
mean, it'll be
1,
good. It'll be good, really. Having like some like new stars becoming like I like to be champion, really. Like,
yeah, well, this is like where one of the Q&A questions we have comes into play, and we'll get
mm-hmm,
there when we like actually hit that Q&A, but
mm-hmm.
I'm all for a brand split.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts. I mean, look at 2016 Raw. It was such a 2016 Raw and SmackDown. It was such a prime time. Why? Because you had so many doors open because you had two shows. And instead of trying to
Mm-hmm.
work the same people in on those two shows, you get to work separate people, separate storylines, and tell a greater story at the end of the day.
Yes.
So, I mean, if that is what they want to do at WrestleMania, dude, I'm all in for it. The problem is if that's what they do at WrestleMania, who does Roman face? Because obviously he faces Cody, but who does he face for the WWE or the Universal Champion on the other end? Jey? Sammy? Jey and Sammy?
Who knows?
It's a toss up,
Who
man. It
knows?
really is. I mean, this story is not over by any
Yeah.
means of the word.
Yeah.
And Sammy said that at the Elimination Chamber press conference. Maybe it's over, maybe it's not. You know damn well when somebody says that, it's not over.
Yeah. No. Anyway, should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Santos Escobar versus Dominic Mysterio. Now this, even though this is like a build up, really, for Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio for a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we've been talking
Now,
about this one for months.
yeah, and I like this whole like baby face. I don't know about you, but I like the baby face Santos Escobar, really.
Me too. Me too. I think playing the like respect for your hero role is always awesome. And that's why earlier when we were talking about BCC, I was talking about Garcia and how he should have switched,
Mm-hmm.
how he should have broke up with JAS because it's cool, man. Like we all know everybody growing up who watched wrestling had a hero. And a lot of those people, or well, not a lot, but a good amount of those people end up becoming wrestlers themselves, and those are the people who they look up to, and being able to share the ring with them is so special.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm really enjoying Babyface Santos. I hope once Gunther is ready to drop the championship, or if he moves over to like Raw or something, he'll get like
Yeah.
a mid-card championship run for a little bit. I would really like to see the Cruiserweight Classic come back, but I think I'm really counting on Lucky Stars there.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, now speaking of Gunther, though, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, LA Knight, Kofi Kingston, and Karrion Kross want to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. But next week, this Friday, right now, there will be a fatal five-way qualifying match to face Gunther for the IC title at WrestleMania. But
Oh
okay,
boy.
here's the thing. Kofi Kingston, he's injured, so I'm curious. Is Xavier Woods gonna replace Kofi, or is Biggie gonna make it a return? Who knows?
Oh,
Or
could you imagine?
yeah, yeah. Like we haven't. It's actually been like a year since we last seen Big E since he had that neck injury that
Yeah, shout out
almost
Drew
ended.
McIntyre.
Yeah, like Drew
Lost him right on his
McIntyre.
head.
What? That wasn't Drew. That was Rich Holland.
Oh, I thought it was Drew.
I'm like, okay. It was Rich Holland. It was like a tag team match.
It's
It
been a
was
minute
like
since I saw the
big,
video, but I thought it was Drew.
but it was Big E and Kofi versus Sheamus and Rich Holland, and Rich Holland is the one who dropped uh Big E on his neck, like outside the ring. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I remember like the Big E landing on his neck part and how brutal it was. I'm sure when I first saw it, I didn't think it was McIntyre, considering if it was Ridge, then it would look nothing like McIntyre. But
y-
I saw a video somewhere of Drew tossing Big E.
mm, but yeah, but who knows? Like it's either like Xavier Woods taking Kofi's place, or maybe Big E is gonna take Kofi's place, or they're just gonna make it a fatal four-way qualifying match. Who
Hmm.
knows? Who knows?
Very
Because right now,
interesting.
because Kofi Kingston right now he's out with an arm injury.
Yeah. I would love to
But
see Big E come back.
mm-hmm,
But realistically, dude, when you break your neck, I mean, you never have like a. There's never really a good timestamp as to when you'll be back, if you'll even be back. So.
yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for this match actually. Now,
I just don't want to see McIntyre versus Gunther at WrestleMania.
why is that? That would be like a chop fest.
It would be a chop fest, but I don't know. I just I had my hopes so high for Lesnar versus Gunther. I just feel like nothing will be able to compare.
What about Karrion Kross versus Gunther?
Hell no. Hell no.
I mean, okay, okay.
I am not hot on Cross, dude. I think as an in-ring performer, eh. He's mid at best in ring. His persona can only carry him so far.
I mean, okay, like Sheamus and Gunther. I mean, we've seen them like beat the hell out of each other twice. Okay, and Sheamus in those two scenarios, like he lost really.
Yeah, I don't know who else would be better than Drew, but
So
I
yeah,
was really hoping for Brock.
mm,
And obviously that's not going to happen.
yeah,
Shout out to Vince.
yeah. Anyways, Uncle Howdy attacked Bobby Lashley. I
I'm starting to
like Uncle
realize how
How.
much Uncle Howdy really does have a resemblance to Bo Dallas.
Yeah,
Like the way
because
his body is
because
shaped.
Yeah, because he is Bo Dallas. He is
No,
Bo
he's
Dallas.
Uncle Howdy.
Hey! We saw everybody on Twitter saying, "Hey, I recognize that voice anywhere. That's Bo Dallas. That's Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy."
Yeah, absolutely. Here's to
Anyways,
bringing back Curtis Axel.
I don't know. I don't know.
What?
I mean, he's work. I mean, is he is Curtis Axel like still working as a working in the backstage area?
I have no
Hmm.
idea.
Hmm. I don't know. But anyways, and also the last thing on the list. We popped a big question: will Jey Uso show up next week on SmackDown?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does he show up on the side of the bloodline? That's the bigger question. And
Yeah.
me personally, I think the person who started it all should be the one to end it all. I think this is
Mm.
long-term storytelling at its finest. And if it weren't to have been for Cody Rhodes declaring that he wanted to come back to WWE, I feel like it would have been Jay all along.
Mm.
But what's that mean for the tag team championships? Are they just gonna have to relinquish them, or
I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
in the
But
event
like,
that it happens? I mean, we still have 3 weeks before Mania, so
yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna relinquish them, or are they gonna have gonna defend them? Like, when was the last time we remember that they defended the titles?
against Braun and Ricochet.
Yeah, but on pay per view
Oh
though.
God, dude, it's been a minute.
When was the last time they defended the undisputed tag titles on a pay per view? Uh, hmm.
Not Elimination Chamber, not Royal Rumble,
Uh, God.
not War Games.
Not War Games. No. Uh. Oh, I think Crown Jewel. 2022 when they faced the Brawling Brutes.
Yep.
So last November. Last November.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
yeah. No, I mean, who knows if they're gonna relinquish the titles, or they're gonna maybe. I mean, I bet their next defense they're gonna drop the titles to somebody else. Really, a
Yeah,
different
but
tag
to
team.
who?
Well, rumors say it's gonna be that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are gonna be the next tag team champions.
Those rumors are you, Lando.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You've been saying this since day one, dude. I don't think.
I
I think that storyline fell through, man.
well, I mean, I don't know. I'm literally. These are rumors, okay? These are rumors, okay?
Well, I mean, if you
And
think about it, that storyline did kind of fall through. Am I wrong
yeah,
for saying that?
I mean, yeah. Well, the same, you know.
Because Jay's not going to want to fight Sammy
I mean, true. I mean, yeah, true,
unless he
true.
all of a sudden decides his allegiance resides with the bloodline. I don't think he'll ever want to fight Sammy. I don't think there's anything in it for him. I think they'll
Yeah,
probably end up relinquishing them.
yeah. Just relinquishing the title, yeah, just as soon as yeah. You're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah, soon as like Jey Uso, he's just gonna leave the bloodline really, and just go off with his own. I don't know about Jimmy though. I don't know about
Listen,
Jimmy,
Jimmy
but
is not good enough on the mic to be able to carry a singles career. He tries really hard, but he's not the
mm,
level of character that Jay is.
mm-hmm.
Now, Solo will have a seriously good solo run, but See what I did
But
there?
yeah, but yeah, I see what you did there. Anyways, but yeah, I get your point. Yeah, um, yeah, like I bet Jimmy Uso he's just gonna leave the bloodline, and yeah, and I think the Usos are gonna go off being like singles competitors, really.
Yeah, that's it makes the most sense.
Yeah,
Like I said, unless all of a sudden Jay decides, you know what, I'm one of them. I just don't see it happening.
but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen this week on SmackDown?
Yeah, I
You
was
know,
saying this last night. We've got a whole lot of time left until WrestleMania. Anything can happen.
anything could happen. Anyway, yeah.
You never say never in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would like to see Jey Uso as a singles competitor, or the Usos as singles competitors. Anyways, jump into our last show of the week. AEW Rampage. The Blackpool Combat Club defeated Dark Order, Top Flight, and Aussie Open in a four-way tag team match. And let me just say that was one of the matches of the night there.
Not
With
surprised. It's a lot of talent in one ring.
lots of talent, really. And next up, one of the matches of the night again. Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes defeated Mongol Influence, Swerve Strickland and Parker Bordeaux in a tag team main event. It was a pretty good match, really. It was a good
When
match.
Keith Lee threw Dustin onto him.
Yeah.
Keith Lee, do you see how gray his hair is getting?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's getting old.
How old even is dude?
Man, how old
I'm
is
looking it up right now. Keith Lee
he? Can't.
age.
I bet he. I mean,
Oh
yeah,
shit,
like
he's 38. Yeah, he's on the end of his career already, pretty much.
yeah,
You've gotten to
yeah.
like you're like 43 as a wrestler for sure.
But yeah, Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes defeated Swerve Strickland and Parker Bordeaux. And also, what happened in the main event? That's Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho having a brawl by the commentary table and on stage at the end of Rampage.
Who ended up getting the better of that?
Pretty much Ricky.
Oof, that's not a good sign. So, usually, if you follow like the trends in wrestling, the last encounter, the winner of the last encounter ends up usually being the loser of the match.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much not a good sign.
We'll see though. I'm rooting for Ricky. I have Ricky in my picks, so we shall see.
Okay, now jumping into the quiz. So let me bring up my
further ado.
Without further ado. Okay. I need to find my. Oh, there it is. Okay. Are you ready? 5 questions.
As ready as I think I'll ever be, my friend.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, and start. What number did Roman Reigns enter in his Royal Rumble debut in 2014? A, 11, B, 15, C, 19, or D, 26?
What Royal Rumble?
2014.
Ooh, I'm blanking. 26.
I'm sorry, you were wrong. It was B, number 15.
Damn. Perfectly halfway through.
Mm-hmm. And he was in the final 2. Remember that? With him and Batista?
I can't believe I bricked on that.
Yeah. Anyways, number 2. Which NJPW unit faction has the most members? A, Los Ingobernables de Japón. B, Bullet Club. C. Chaos, or D. United Empire?
A.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Yep.
You are wrong.
What? Is it Bullet Club?
Yeah, it's Bullet Club.
God damn it.
I thought you were gonna get this right, really. Like, Los Ingobernables de Japón, they have 6 members. And Bullet Club, they have 15.
Damn, Bullet Club is stacked.
And Chaos, they have 13. And United Empire, they have 8.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Bullet Club is so widespread, though. It's so hard to keep track of.
Yeah. Now, number 3, true or false? Bobby Roode is the longest reigning TNA Impact World Champion for 256 days.
False.
You are correct.
Let's go. I got my first one right.
Yeah, first one right.
Ooh.
So yeah, like we mentioned this before, that Josh Alexander is now the longest reigning Impact World Champion at the moment, over 300 days now. But anyways, moving on. Number 4. How many active championships does ICW have in Italy? No, I mean, okay, like, I bet you never heard of this company before, but I have. A, 6 championships. B, 8 championships. C, 12 championships. Or D, 16 championships.
Listen, I'm going to throw a random shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go C.
Sorry, you're wrong. It was 6. Or sorry, A, 6 championships.
Damn.
I don't know why I put this down, even though, but like, it's ICW Italian wrestling, so
Listen, man, I mean, I'm always down to learn something. That's what it's about, so.
yeah.
It was a long shot that I'd get it, but.
But yeah, they have 6 championships. I'll even put it down in the description box below of what their championships are. Anyways, your final question. Okay, hopefully you get this one right. I don't want to see you having like one question right out of these 5 questions. Okay, how many times did Jushin Thunder Liger win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship? A, 6 times. B, 9 times. C, 11 times. Or D, 16 times.
Ooh. How many times did he win which championship?
No, how many times has he won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship?
The junior heavyweight, you said?
Yeah, Junior Heavyweight, yes.
Oh. Alright, run me through the list.
Okay, A, 6 times. B, 9 times. C, 11 times. Or D, 16 times.
I'm gonna go C 11 times.
You are correct.
Right, because he has the most reigns, right?
Yeah, the most reigns, and he's also the longest reigning IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion for 628 days.
Damn.
Most reigns, longest reign, and longest combined reigns. So
That's
yeah,
not
3
a surprise.
records. Yeah. So yeah, 3 records for Jushin Thunder Liger as IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Well, he is
So,
truly
right.
one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yes, definitely. Now, so thank you everybody to tune in for the Underground Mobcast episode 24.
Had a boy.
Yep. Yeah, I almost got it wrong. I was about to say 23. Anyways, should I hit him with it?
Hit him with it, Zoe.
Signore e signori, arrivederci. Mwah. E buonanotte. Bang!